To talk about motivation, I would give you just a background of what IRE PGP actually is. So, for me, IRE PGP is something like a triangular base, wherein the first slope of the triangle represents innovation, the second represents entrepreneurship backed by research, is what I put in across as PGP IRE. So to simplify it further, for any entrepreneur for that matter, if he needs to perceive in any of his career, he needs solid research and innovation, hands-on. So simultaneously, if he's backed by these two prospects, he can definitely be successful entrepreneur. That would what I say is this entire thing of IRE, right? This is the basic understanding about IRE. So if you talk about my journey and my motivation, well, the first motivation for me was always learning. When I joined GIBS, wherein they had put across this particular program called PGP-IRE, they told that we have a flagship program called Innovation Research and Entrepreneurship, where we will practically teach you how to sustain in the market or how to go ahead with it. So that is how this entire thing started. So the main motivation for me is, of course, learning. If anything adds value to my career or to my personal growth, I would definitely say yes to it. So that would be my motivation drive. To talk about my journey so far in PGP-IRE, we recently graduated in PGP-IRE. It's a program for PGDM students, right? So the journey was not less than a, let's, we can say a giant wheel ride for me. Sometimes the days were so high that we used to throw parties at our friends for just, being appreciated by our teachers for a particular idea that we have pitched in. We used to come up with lots and lots of idea. We used to come up with lots and lots of innovations, research, to get slight appreciation from all our professors. I mean, the professors were dwelled in the field of their own particular fields. That is, we had a professor called Jyoti Prakash Sahu who taught us entrepreneurship. Right, so he had around 19 years of experience in the field, in the corporate fields. So he was taking entrepreneurship classes for us. So even to get a slight appreciation from them, top corporates from them, it was a big deal for us. So the days were very high when we got beautiful appreciations from them, and sometimes it was low because we used to get roasted like anything, saying if we would create a basic mistakes in PPT presentations or any of that stuff when we are pitching in, if we were not knowing any of the financial terms, we would straight away be told that you are not into this level. So that was a reality check for us. So this was a beautiful journey so far. To talk about a specific activity which I really liked, or the skill set that we developed, which is really helpful in whatever things or in whatever departments we do, is that there is one particular activity called the six design thinking hats, wherein we did this activity to give it a beautiful example. If we were to organize an event, all of the teammates, it was a team event, by the way. So IRE is basically a team management event, so program, wherein we were divided into a team of 10 each. We had around 18 teams, right? So each of in this particular activity that I remember, which I have taken away completely, is that the six design thinking hats, wherein each color of a hat describes a character. Let's say we are six in a team, we have six design thinking hats. If I wear red color hat, I were to think in a gut feeling way for the outcomes of that particular event. If I were to wear a blue color hat, if my teammate, let's say, is wearing a blue color hat, he has to think like a leader, wherein he have to come up with ideas, innovative ideas, and how could that event be, how could that particular program be successful. He have to think like a leader. And like that, we had black caps. Black caps suggested, you should talk all about the negative aspects that could go wrong. This particular activity, personally, I feel is a great brainstorming activity, because whenever we do certain events, we recently organized a TEDx event in our college. So in that event also, we as a team were brainstorming ourselves with these kinds of design thinking activities. We used to wear these hats. It could be imaginary. We were wearing these hats and we were deciding the outcomes. We were predicting what could go right, what could go wrong. We were deciding on research. We were deciding on how to welcome hospitality, everything. So this particular activity has a great role in all of our developing areas, and I would say all of our skill development areas. So we, as a team of 10, worked on a trekking management app. We were creating a platform for all the trekking enthusiasts and hiking enthusiasts, wherein we had come up with the idea that we would be a particular platform wherein we'll help we would remove all the hassles that trekkers are feeling. Hassles in the sense not climbing. That's the joy that they come up with. But all other activities which could be transportation or providing with proper facilities or providing them with proper informations on terrains, we were into this idea. So at the end of this event, it was so rewarding that we got a lot of appreciation from all of the three professors. This innovation, research, and entrepreneurship, as I said, is an interlinkage between all the departments, all the programs, wherein without innovation and research, you cannot do any entrepreneurial activity, is what I personally feel. So even to come up with this idea, we had to do a lot of research. You cannot just come and say that we'll create a platform. There are platforms working on the same thing. We have Trilophilia, we have all other hiking apps doing the same thing. But how could we be unique and different? This is what we've been taught in the part of innovation, and to back this up, we had research, right? So to come up with challenges or rewarding, as I said, the final day, the conference or the convocation day was actually rewarding for us, because that's where all our hard works and sleepless nights came into picture in a particular degree form, right? So talking about challenges, we faced a lot of challenges because anywhere in this particular industry of B school or undergraduation UT, we are not taught about in-depth knowledge about how to start a startup or anything. You do it on your own. But here, right from, even if you want to say that most of our teammates were planning to create a website, most of our teams, like 18 teams, what I mentioned, were on this particular thing called, we'll create a service based business. The basic idea of IRA is that we have to come up with a business plan that would work, right? So which is feasible. So most of our 18 teams were saying that we'll come up with this idea and we will do this service. When asked, they used to say, we'll create a website or we'll create an app and this would disrupt the market. But even to create a website, we need something known as wireframes. We need something called as mockups. Every little thing was taught in this particular program of PGP-IRE. So that was really challenging. Learning all that was really challenging, and also that was rewarding. The combination of PGDM and PGP-IRE, at the beginning days, we used to feel a lot of stressed out because we were not used to this. We had around 11 papers to clear in one particular trimester. We have around 6 trimesters, and within the first year, we have this PGP program also. 35 papers we have to clear within that. We have this program called PGP-IRE. At the first, we were all like, this is not something that is a cakewalk for us. So we need to put in a lot of effort. But eventually, we got used to it, because the PGDM program, basically the move towards the drive from MBA towards PGDM, is that PGDM is more practical based, they say in the industry. But PGP-IRA is something which would put that practicality into practice, is what I say. Right. So that is very, very important. As I have done my internships in some corporates, there they expect this kind of knowledge and this kinds of mindset. Basically, if you're talking about entrepreneurial mindset, if you're studying entrepreneurship, it's not only about you want to be an entrepreneur, right? So the mindset is rather more important, is what I personally feel, right? So this has prepared me uniquely, all of us for that matter. I am talking in behalf of all the student fraternity. I'm really grateful for that. So this particular thing, if I have to put it in this way, if PGDM is like a water tank, PGP-IRE is like a cover which prevents it from leaking, right? So that is always there. So that is how I would like to put it. Yes, as you mentioned, the basic idea of IRE PGP IRE is that, from ideation to prototyping. So, how feasible it is, how is some of our idea, some of our batchmates' idea, is it really feasible? That and all is gauged in this particular thing. So from ideation to prototyping, if you ask, we in between we had one more program called BMP, that is Business Mastery Program, which was headed by our MD, that is Mr. Ritesh Goel sir. He is IIMB alumni himself. So in that, what was happening is, like, we were to pitch in three products to him, wherein all the 18 teams again will come up, 10 in each team, 180 strength, and 10 in each team. We have to come up with three particular products, and then we have to sell them. The management will fund you by around 25,000 rupees, right? Hard cash. They will fund you with that for each and every team, for all 18 teams, 25,000 each they'll give. And you have to come up with three products and you have to sell them. And within the span of 1.5 months to 2 months, you have to gain a profit margin of 20%. That is, you have to return around 30,000 back to the management. 5,000 will be utilized by all the societies. That is student driven society. That if I have to talk about that, that would take an hour actually. The student driven societies. It is for, again, for the well-being of students and everything. So the profits are distributed among the societies, and the profits sometimes are distributed among the students that we have invested in and we have sold our products in. So that was always there. So this whole thing of PGP IRE helped us in developing the attitude of that too, wherein we used all the skills that we learned, that is innovation. How could we be innovative than others? How could we uniquely present ourselves? Or how could we do extensive research in a different way? What is the need of people around us? So this and all we learned in PGP-IRE, and we implemented that practically, and we put that into practice in BMP program. And we were fortunate enough, our batch is especially fortunate enough that almost every team yielded a profit of about 22 to 23%. We earned around what 31 to 33,000 rupees each, and the profits were distributed among the students itself. So that particular thing helped us a lot in understanding the markets, in understanding by a little margin. I'm not saying that we are already there, but by a little margin, I can always say that we are more exposed to this practicality, I would rather say. As I told in my previous answers also, conference and the convocation was a great milestone for us, because the conference was held in Hotel Renaissance. And the conference was not IRE, I would say, is the fourth iteration what we are facing. We are the fourth batch of IRE. Our previous, it was always been a growth from where we started, where the college has started, where the management has started. This stage, what we are facing, the fourth iteration state of IPGP IRE, we had this privilege to go out and present ourselves. The top three teams, as I told, there were 18 teams, right? So the top three teams were given a chance to present themselves in the conference, wherein there were about what 22, 25 all-time entrepreneurs, full-time entrepreneurs were sitting and evaluating their pitch. Right, so we had prizes for that. We had places first, second, third. The top three teams made it to the finals. That is the conference day, what we say. That was a D-day for us. So the conference day was like this. All there were people from Shark Tank fame. There were people from corporate. There were people who were full-time entrepreneurs evaluating our pitch. That was something we took away from GIBS actually. As all students, we were like, we pitching in front of them. It was not for investment, but putting ourselves, expressing ourselves what we have done from last 6 months was always a great journey for us. So was always a great memory for us, and it would stay rather till the life. Right. So talking about convocation again, we had guests. We had three main guests who were all the three were Shark Tank fame guests. We had founders from Genit 3 and all other people who felicitated all of us, all of the batch, like 180 people with our marks cards and certificates. So that was about convocation. And again, all our hard works and sleepless nights just came in front of us when we were receiving that particular day. So that was something very very memorable for all of us. When we talk about synergies or the combination of IRE, PGP, IRE and PGDM program, the holistic skills has always been with us, because right from the beginning days where we started with innovation and research and entrepreneurship, again we started with innovation wherein we were exposed to a lot of innovations that was going on throughout the world or throughout the society around us itself, being India, being it be global. We were exposed to all of the research that was going on. We were exposed to all of the innovation that was going around the world, right? So if you talk about how is it combinedly helping us in developing the holistic skills, wherein we were doing this internship for 3 months. All of the students whom I interacted with, all of the fellow mates that I interacted with, were rather saying that if we were to put PGP in a particular hand, and if we have to put PGDM in one other hand, we would be frightened to pick one, because all the internship days, if were to take, my particular field is HR and marketing, if I were to pick these both, I would be frightened too, because the moments the classes that we took in a particular class, that studies that we do in a particular class, the theoretical aspect of which has been put in the practical subjects of PGP-IRE. So it has developed a lot of skills, saying that it could be a research skill, or it could be the attitude, it could be the communication skill, all the soft skills, and also how to put that into practice. That is the holistic skill that we learn from both IRE, PGP-IRE and PGDM course. Talking about my future career aspirations, or where will I see myself, we are already putting this plan into practice, because we run an NGO. Personally, I run an NGO which is named Ashwamedha Ashraya Foundation. In the year 2019, we started it. Till date, till the time when PGP-IRE started, we were running this organization in a particular way. But after being exposed to this PGP-IRE program, that is Innovation, Research and Entrepreneurship, we changed the dynamics of how we run an organization, or how we run a firm. We change the way how we do meetings, or how we brainstorm people, how we brainstorm the volunteers. Everything has already been put in the place, I would rather say. If I were to given a chance to open my own entity, I am very confident about that. This is what is the result of PGP-IRE, I would rather say, because the 5 years from now, if I were to work in a corporate, it will be always be a mindset that I would take from PGP-IRE and apply it there, and give my 100% to that, right? So that would always be there. So that is how I would put this across, as what is my key takeaways. These are my key takeaways, wherein combining all of this, we are there, I would rather say. As a student, I could say that we were always being emphasized on one particular thing, that is start by identifying a problem. After that, if you still believe that it's a pain area, do an extensive research on that pain area. And that if you still believe that that pain area could be feasible, and that pain area could be solved, right? So in a business ethical way, wherein that could be feasible, or it could mint some money. If there is a business in that, try to apply all of these innovations and all of your research, all of your knowledge that you have gathered so far, and put it across. And that would be a beautiful entrepreneurial journey for you guys, because we were always given case studies. All the B schools are known for that. They will present all of them with case studies. We are given with live examples here, wherein I was talking about BMP, right? Business Mastery Program. There was one particular student in our super seniors batch, wherein the three products which we were selling, which I talked about in the BMP program, that we were to sell to raise a profit margin of 20%. That batch, our super senior batch, they had a team of six, wherein they sold brownies by named Brownie Boys. All of them, the six people in the group, all of them opted for placement except one. I still don't remember the name, but that one guy who thought that with all the knowledge that he got from PGP-IRE and BMP, that is Business Mastery Program, he thought that I would start a career in this. Recently, my directors were telling me that he is selling around 10,000 brownies in a particular day, in one day. So he applied this practicality into practice, and he got somewhere else, right? So this is what PGPIRE has prepared us for. That is always there. So start identifying problem, and innovation is the key. That is what I would say to all the aspiring innovators that they are there.